welcome back. It's your business. It is the last Monday of February, and our Monday show includes the remodelers. It includes the report card show, and generally the other couple of shows we deal with bankers and real estate pros, and even this morning we're going to talk with Jerry Berg, and we'll do as well with Brad Mayer on the Big Home Show this weekend. That's something you guys always keep an eye on.
Absolutely. Yeah, the home show is kind of like that benchmark for spring. I mean, in the past, it's always been, hey, when the home show hits, this is, spring is right around the corner. And so everybody kind of gets excited. Juices start flowing. And I think the home show is a great opportunity for people to go out and kind of see what's happening in the marketplace in reference to trends. And I think, we've been part of the home show. I was part of that for many, many years. I was with another company that were there every year. And then we as Tony Bachman Group have been out there for a number of years too. I just think it's a great way to, have conversations. For a person that wants to come out there, you have everybody stacked up, all lined up, all these professionals that you can just walk from booth to booth and you can have an exchange of ideas in reference to, what works, what doesn't, what should I be doing? And that's invaluable. I think it's well worth it. If you're thinking about doing anything to your home, or if you're looking at building, this is a great way to get out there and kind of see what's happening out there.
This is going to kind of be a study guide for those wanting to go Friday, Saturday, or Sunday this morning. Buyers, sellers, where are we at in the marketplace?
So we have a lot of buyers, and we're hoping to get a few more sellers. When I say a few, maybe, a couple thousand that we got, that would be good. That would kind of help relieve some of the pressure. But it is so a lot of times we have these conversations about buyer's market, seller's market. And I just wanted to quickly define, when you talk about a buyer's market or a seller's market, a neutral market, what we consider a neutral market where buyers and sellers do not have an advantage. Either way, it's just a neutral market. That's roughly 6 months of inventory, meaning that, and right now, just from last month's stats, we were at 1.6 months of inventory. So that's
not much.
So that gives you a feel for how much of a seller's market this really is. And then, I also, when we're out there in the marketplace working with our clients, it's not to scare anybody, because it's not. I consider this real estate market, basically, I look at it as there's a lot of opportunity out there. Opportunity for the sellers, and then also opportunity for the buyers. And how the opportunity for the buyers comes in is their interest rates are so great right now. Their purchasing power is so great. So they shouldn't be afraid of this marketplace.
All right, we're going to talk about an episode over the last week, but it's not every house is going to go through what you are going to describe. The number of buyers that were there was amazing.
Yeah, so I had a client that wanted to go see a home, called me on Thursday night and said, hey, I just seen this listing that just came out, would really like to go see it. And so I said, oh, absolutely, we'll set up a showing and we'll go in there and take a look at it. Well, when I pulled it up, so this was Thursday night. On Friday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon is when they were going to start reviewing offers. Well, so when we got in there, we got into the home, it was around noon on Friday. There was probably roughly about 40 business cards, because typically as a courtesy, what we do as realtors
What price house? This
home was at $375,000.
Okay.
But it was intentionally underpriced. I mean, there's strategies to that. It needed a little bit of work, and everybody knew that going into it. So now you're calculating, how much work do you need to put into the home to bring it up. But I think that the actual overall value of this home was considerably higher than that. I mean, it was probably closer to $500,000 when it was all done and said, after you fixed the home up, type of thing. There was 13 offers on the table of this, and so I know that the listing agent and the seller had their work cut out for them going through each of these offers and just figuring out, okay, so here they want inspections, here this is cash, here this is conventional financing. All those things come into play when you're making these decisions. But it sounded like if we were playing horseshoes, we would have scored a few points because we came in second, because we were close. Yeah,
that's tough. And a lot of times, and I hear agents talk about they made more than 100% offer and still didn't get it.
Yeah. No, this the numbers were it went considerably higher than what was listed for. So, and then I guess it's one of those that this is the market we're in. But again, this was a unique scenario because the home itself, it had like a swimming pool that needed new pool equipment, new cover. It had some other things where the home was a little bit dated. So I could see someone going in and having to redo, kitchens, bathrooms, those sorts of things. Some of the floors needed to be resanded and done. So it's not like stuff that had to be done like right as soon as you moved in, but it's stuff that you would probably want to do if you're going to live in the home. So you calculate those things into the equation. And we had a conversation, my client and I, we walked through all the little items and said, okay, here's approximately what we think these things are going to cost. Here's what we think our top end offer is.
My guess is none of the 13th were contingent on sale of a house.
If they, probably not. But maybe
that would get you X'd in a hurry, correct?
But maybe. Well, so we'll talk different types. There's two different types of contingency. One is contingent house sale, meaning that the home that the buyers have already is under contract, and so really they're about 99% down the road. All they got to do is just get to closing day. When it's contingent, listing the house and getting the house under contract, that makes it a little harder if you're up against multiple offers. So, because then sometimes it's not even about price; it's just about timelines.
Okay, you probably can't answer this, but I'll ask you anyway. Just a real estate agent question to another agent. Okay. Of the 13, how many of them had actually gone through the house? How many of them were Zoomed and hadn't even been in the property, but just felt like this is something they wanted in that price range?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know that number exactly. Obviously, there was a lot of people that went through the house, but I'm also seeing a lot of agents that are doing FaceTime with their clients. And because the timeline was real tight, I would suspect that there was probably a few of them that happened that way. We had a showing at one of our other houses on last Friday, and that was, and the agent says, "Hey, is it okay if we do a FaceTime video? Because my client doesn't live here; he's from out of state." And so, yeah, it's a pretty prevalent thing. We see that a lot right now.
If you had 13 offers on a house, how many of those would you expect right now would have been Zoomed from other parts of the country?
On this house, because it was a very unique house in a great area down by the Prairie Green Golf Course, I would suspect maybe 2 or 3 of those would be
but
at
less
least,
than half.
Yeah, because I think that I don't know for a fact, but I'm just speculating that would be. So when we had a couple weeks ago, we had like 7 offers on a townhome. Those, I think one of them was a Zoom or a FaceTime that they made an offer. So their agent had walked through, they were able to ask questions and show them all the small places and, how things laid out. So.
All right. You're preparing a buyer.
Yeah. So
now here's what I want to ask.
Okay.
You're thinking it's going to be a multiple offer situation. Have no idea it will be 1 or 20 or whatever it might be. What are you telling them about that initial offer and what they might expect and what they should be ready to do and when they're ready to do it?
So I just spoke with someone last night, and I had this consultation, and it's about a 10 or 15-minute consultation, because a lot of times when you're working with buyers now, they don't know the speed of the market, or they don't know the pressure of the market. I mean, they've heard about it.
And what might be going on in their market
right.
is different than here.
And so we're just telling everybody, so we're back to square one of, do you have your lender letter in place? The other thing is that your consultation with your lender. So I'm your realtor. I'm not your financial advisor, and I'm not your lender, but I'm here as your realtor to help you make sure that you're not house rich, cash poor. Is now we're trying to discern what is your comfort when it comes to a payment. What's your high end price? What's your comfort price? And I want to work within those parameters, because it's really easy to get caught up in the whole thing of multiple offers and let's go for it. It's like going to an auction and people pay more than what the thing is worth, So, and that's what people expect from us, is to make sure that we're giving them sage advice in reference to, what values are. And we don't have a crystal ball on what the values are going to be coming up. But I will say that I'm very optimistic that we're not going to see much change in the marketplace. I mean, because interest rates being what they are, and from everything I've heard, they're going to try and maintain those interest rates because that's what's driving this economy. And so I think we're going to still see this demand. So I don't see where someone says, well, if I pay this for the house, that means maybe in a couple of years it's worth less than that. And I don't see that in our marketplace.
He is Tony Bachman, Tony Bachman Team Keller Williams. How do they reach you?
We have a Facebook page. It's Tony Bachman Group. It's TonyBachmanGroup.com. And my cell number is 605-201-5998. More than glad to. You can text me, you can call me. And we don't have bank. I was telling one of my clients, I don't have banker's hours. My hours are, hey, if I'm up at 6 o'clock and you happen to text me, you might get a text or a phone call back right away. So feel free to reach out.
And he's got 2 cameras rolling this morning, so my guess is it's going to be seen someplace else.
It'll be on the Facebook page coming up. Thank you, Bill.